Have you ever wondered why planting vegetables is important? It's not just about having fresh produce at your fingertips, although that's certainly a bonus. It's about more than just the joy of watching something grow from a tiny seed into a flourishing plant. Planting vegetables is a step towards better health. When you grow your own food, you know exactly what's going into it. No harmful pesticides, no genetic modifications, just pure natural goodness. Plus, the act of gardening itself is a great form of exercise. But there's more. Planting vegetables also has a positive impact on our environment. It reduces the carbon footprint associated with transporting food from farm to supermarket to your plate. And let's not forget the financial aspect. Growing your own vegetables can save you a significant amount of money in the long run. Planting vegetables contributes to self-sustainability, giving you control over what you eat and how it gets to your table. Now that we understand the importance, let's dive into how to plant different types of vegetables. A successful garden begins with good soil preparation. It's a simple truth, but one that can significantly affect the health and yield of your vegetable garden. So let's delve into the process of preparing the soil for planting. Firstly, location is key. Most vegetables thrive in a sunny, well-drained spot. An area that gets 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day is ideal. If your garden is on a slope, ensure it faces south for optimal sunlight exposure. Next, let's talk about the soil itself. Soil can vary greatly from sandy to clay-like, each with its own set of strengths and challenges. A well-balanced garden soil is crumbly, drains well but retains some moisture, and is rich in decomposed organic matter. Now it's time to test your soil's pH. This is a measure of how acidic or alkaline your soil is. Most vegetables prefer slightly acidic to neutral soil, with a pH between 6 and 7. Testing kits are readily available online or at your local garden center. If your soil is too acidic, adding lime can help balance it, while adding sulfur can help if it's too alkaline. Once you've got the pH balance right, it's time to boost your soil's fertility. This is where compost and fertilizers come in. Compost is a fantastic organic way to enrich your soil. It introduces beneficial microbes that help plants grow. Fertilizers, on the other hand, provide essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Remember, it's all about balance. Too much of any nutrient can be just as detrimental as too little. Finally, till your soil. This process breaks up compacted soil, allows air and water to reach plant roots more easily, and mixes in your compost or fertilizer. But be careful not to overdo it. Over-tilling can harm beneficial soil organisms and lead to a hard, compacted garden bed. With the soil adequately prepared, you're now ready to plant your seeds. Your garden's foundation is set, and you're one step closer to a bountiful vegetable harvest. Leafy greens like spinach and lettuce are a great place to start for beginners. They're not only easy to grow, but they're also packed with nutrients that are beneficial to your health. So let's dive into the step-by-step guide on how to plant leafy greens. Firstly, let's talk about the ideal planting depth. For most leafy greens, a shallow depth of about 1/4 to 1/2 inch is just right. This allows the seed to have enough soil coverage to germinate, but not too much that it struggles to break through the surface. As for spacing, these plants need room to grow. A good rule of thumb is to space your seeds about 2 to 3 inches apart. This gives each plant ample space to flourish without crowding its neighbors. Watering is an essential part of gardening, but it's a bit of a Goldilocks situation. You don't want too much, and you don't want too little. For leafy greens, a moderate amount of water is best. Keep the soil consistently moist, but not waterlogged. Remember, overwatering can lead to root rot and other plant diseases. Lastly, it's important to note that leafy greens prefer cooler temperatures. So, try to plant them in early spring or late summer to avoid the peak heat of the season. With proper care, you'll soon have a bountiful harvest of leafy greens. You'll not only enjoy the fruits of your labor, but also the satisfaction of knowing you grew them yourself. Happy gardening. Scene script. Root vegetables like carrots and beets require a slightly different approach. When it comes to planting root vegetables, the depth of your soil matters a lot. These subterranean delights need a good amount of space to grow downwards. So if you're working with a shallow garden bed, consider going deeper. Aim for at least 1 foot of loose, well-drained soil. This allows the roots to grow freely, without having to fight against compacted dirt. Now let's talk about sowing. Unlike leafy greens, root vegetables are usually grown from seeds rather than transplants. Plant your seeds directly into the soil, following the depth and spacing recommendations on the seed packet. A general rule of thumb is to plant the seed 3 times as deep as its diameter. And remember, not all seeds will germinate, so it's a good idea to sow a few extra. Watering root vegetables can be a bit tricky. They need consistent moisture to grow properly. However, too much water all at once can cause the roots to split. So rather than watering heavily once a week, aim for a light watering every day or two. This will keep the soil evenly moist without drowning your plants. And finally, patience is key. Root vegetables grow underground out of sight, so it can be tempting to dig around to check on their progress. But resist the urge. Disturbing the soil can damage the roots and slow their growth. With patience and attention, root vegetables can be a rewarding addition to your garden. Now let's move on to fruit-bearing vegetables like tomatoes and peppers. Fruit-bearing vegetables are a delightful sight in any garden, not to mention a delicious addition to your kitchen. When it comes to planting these, there are a few key steps to keep in mind. Firstly, these types of vegetables often require a form of support. This could be stakes or cages. The reason being, as your plant grows and begins to bear fruit, the weight of the produce can cause the branches to sag or even snap. A stake or cage gives the plant something to lean on, keeping it upright and ensuring your vegetables are off the ground. Next, let's talk about feeding. Regular feeding is vital for these fruit-bearing plants. They are working hard to produce those tasty treats, and they need a good supply of nutrients to keep them going. You'll want to use a high-quality vegetable fertilizer applied according to the package instructions. And remember, a well-fed plant is a happy plant. Of course, it's not just about feeding your plants. Hydration is critical too. Always ensure your plants get enough water, especially during dry spells. Over or underwatering can lead to problems, so keep a careful eye on moisture levels. Now, on to pruning. Careful pruning can help your plant focus its energy on producing fruit. It's a bit like giving your plant a haircut. You're removing the parts that are not contributing to fruit production, allowing the plant to channel its energy into the good stuff, the fruit. Don't be afraid to get in there and remove any non-fruiting branches or leaves that are taking up too much energy. Lastly, remember to be patient. Fruit-bearing vegetables take time to grow. They need care, attention, and above all, time. So give them what they need, and they will reward you with a bountiful harvest. By following these steps, you'll be enjoying homegrown tomatoes and peppers in no time. Let's summarize what we've learned today. We've taken a fascinating journey into the world of vegetable gardening, uncovering its importance and the joy it brings. Not only does it provide us with fresh organic produce, but it also nurtures our connection with nature. It's a pastime that nourishes both body and soul. We delved into the art of soil preparation, a crucial first step in any gardening endeavor. Remember, it's all about creating a nurturing environment for your plants. We learned that the secret lies in balancing the soil's texture, nutrients, and pH level. A well-prepared soil is the foundation of a thriving garden. Then we explored the planting of leafy greens. From spinach to lettuce, these plants are not just packed with nutrients, but are also relatively easy to grow. They're perfect for beginners looking to dip their toes into the world of gardening. Next, we discussed root vegetables. These underground gems, such as carrots and beets, have a unique set of requirements. They need deep, loose soil to stretch their roots and grow unimpeded. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be rewarded with a bountiful harvest. And let's not forget our exploration of fruit-bearing vegetables: tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers. These are the stars of any vegetable garden. They may require a bit more attention and care, but the delicious fruits of your labor are well worth the effort. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or a green-thumbed newbie, we hope that today's discussion has enriched your understanding and inspired you to cultivate your own piece of green paradise. Remember, a garden is a labor of love. Enjoy the process, and you'll reap the rewards in due time.